तिन्ही सांजा सखे मिळाल्या, तिन्ही सांजा सखे मिळाल्या, देई वचन तुला. Roses bloom in my heart and the glow is on your cheek. The thorn pricks my feet, but why the pain in your tender heart? Will someone solve this puzzle for me? Will the secret a Pandit reveal? This endearing poem and the song you heard at the beginning is written by the famous poet Bhaskar Ramchandra Tambe. Today, in the 20th episode of Granthyatra, we will read the poetry written by Tambe. A warm welcome to all the viewers. Tambe's family originally belonged to Konkan. His ancestors had accompanied Govind Pant Bundele to North India. You may remember Govind Pant Bundele from the Granthyatra episode number 12 on Bhausaibanchi Bakhar. For their bravery on the battlefield, the Tambe family had received the Jagir of a village called Kudhon near Jhansi. Tambe spent his childhood at the town of Devas in Madhya Pradesh. Later, he went to Indore for higher studies and subsequently he was appointed teacher to the Prince of Devas state. The poem he wrote for the young prince became hugely popular later. Chiv chiv chimni chatat chatat, arsa lombe bhinti la, chimni pahe savti la. Chirping sparrow on the ceiling, oh ceiling, on the wall a mirror hanging, oh hanging. Who does the sparrow sees there, oh there? She sees her rival in the mirror, oh mirror. His many other poems written for children became popular. There must be someone special, someone who stammers, is one such fun song where the brother teases his sister, or his adaptation of Robert Browning's famed poem, The Pied Piper. Many of you may have heard the song, Ya balano ya re ya, lavakar bhar bhar sare ya. Come little children, come, make haste, you all come. Enjoy little children, enjoy, this day is all yours. But Tambe is mainly known for his emotive love poetry. Just as he had studied the Sanskrit poets, he had also read the poetry of English romantic poets. His poetry blossomed with a pleasing combination of the frank expression of love as observed in English poetry and his immediate surroundings of an Indian princely state. A poetry with a pleasing structure and depicting the freshness of emotions was created out of it. It expressed itself through poems such as The Path of Pure Love and That Lovely Evening. Be it dramatic poems such as Do Not Stare at Me with Those Tormenting Eyes and Her Empty Pot, or some sweet emotion as expressed in I know not why, but the milk in your pot tastes sweeter. Tambe created a unique world of symbolism. Her pot lies empty near the stream, kissed by those dancing waves. What magic occurred that she disappeared? Did someone take her to be his queen and took her away? At times, we meet some such young woman who slips away to meet her lover, leaving her pot near the stream, and at others, the lover in his poem reasons. O beautiful maiden, say why you stole my heart. Give it back, else give me yours. And at others, he reveals his impatience through lines such as, Then forget this moment if you wish, but this moment come to me. At times, he paints the picture of a young woman waiting for her lover. Not someone's steps, only the corn in the wind. Not the human word, only the stars speaking. Not a whistle, just the wind in the willows. How you melt away again with trust so hollow. The pot fills at the stream with a gurgle. You neither see nor hear the murmur. Tambe was trained in classical music and his poetry possessed a natural lyrical quality. His poems such as In the Gathering Dusk, I Promise You Thus, and The Milk in Your Pot were turned into sweet songs. While singing the songs of love fulfilled, some of Tambe's poems appeared with several layers of meaning. I am a new bride, my dear, and I falter, I hesitate. I take a step, but I turn back again. These words equally apply to a young bride, but also to a person pining for the union with God, as is indicated from its concluding stanza. Now only you can take away my fear and shame. Give me courage and take the bride with you. If the eyes fill with tears, let them be. The pain is but short, the home there is the real one. Similarly, now that I have taken the plunge, you may drown me or help me cross. This poem also appears to have a similar meaning. Apart from love poetry, Tambe also composed poems on topics that had never figured in poetry. His poem, Take Me to Mother, was inspired by his little son, who kept insisting that he should be taken to his mother, although the poet did his best to engage him. In his poem, a mother watches with care her sleeping baby dear. He depicts a mother's adoration for her child. In another poem, he inspires by saying, जरी शत्रूंचा अजस्र मारा उलथुनी पाडी जणू डोलारा अभेद्य भक्कम किल्ला सारा तरी वीरा हुंचू करू नको. Even if the enemy is strong and about to topple the tower of the impregnable fort, stand with fortitude, O fighter. When writing about the queen of Jhansi, he says, कडकडा कडाडे बिजली शत्रूची लष्करे थिजली मग कीर्ती रूपती उरली ती हिंद भूमीच्या पराक्रमाची इतिश्रीच झाली. The thunder rolled, the enemy froze, and she lived in memory, and so ended the valor in Hind. In his poem Song of the Cowherd, he paints a beautiful nature picture. He sits in the meadow under a banyan tree tending the cows, and the crystal clear brook rushes past. He mocks materialism in his poem The Delusion by Ghatotkach, whereas in his poem Invocation of Rudra, he inspires everyone to acts of bravery. डुमडुमत डमरुये खणखणत शूलये शंख फुंकीतये येई रुद्रा. Come blowing your conch, O Rudra, let the air be filled with the noise of your drum and the noise of your spear. O Bhairav, the apocalyptic cloud, come and give your harsh cry. Come with your cruel and fearsome countenance. This and the next poem were written in the context of India's struggle for freedom from a foreign rule. उखळात दिले शिरकाय आता दणकवा मुसळ ढोंग न करिता. Now that I have placed my head in the mortar, hit the pestle without a pretense. It's hard to find strength in the meek. How can they accomplish the impossible deed? It will cripple even the strong. Let the world witness and wonder. Tambe gave the Marathi poetry a vision of beauty that was different from the one propounded by Keshavsut, but a vision that was certainly conducive to the progress of modern poetics. While engrossed in a sense of fulfillment and joy, he expressed the subtle shades of emotions through his poems. Especially his poems about women are different from any others on this theme. भयचकित नमावे तुझ रमणी जन कसे तुडविती तुझ चरणी. You inspire awe and wonder and command respect. How do people trample you with their feet? The past was born from your womb, the present plays in your lap, and the future waits for your call, O maiden. He thus expresses his trust in a woman's strength. His compassionate heart is saddened by the plight of widows. His empathy is expressed through poems such as A Widow's Dream and A Widow's Mind. No one stands for the other in this world. The brother-in-law and mother-in-law have no pity. They torture and burn me. With these words, he expresses the hardships of a widow who is about to commit suicide. Let us hear from Professor Lalita Mirajkar more about Tambe's poetry.
कवी R तांबे यांची कविता ही आधुनिक मराठी काव्याच्या दुसऱ्या टप्प्यातली कविता आहे. म्हणजे 1920 नंतरचा हा काळ आहे. तांब्यांचं बालपण हे इंदोर देवासारख्या संस्थानिक वातावरणात गेलेलं होतं. त्या ठिकाणी त्यांनी इंग्रजी काव्याचा अभ्यास केला, टेनिसनची लिरिक्सचा अभ्यास केला, ब्राउनिंगची नाट्यगीतं त्यांनी अभ्यासली, वर्ड्सवर्थची निसर्ग कविता त्यांनी त्याचा परिचय करून घेतला. पण त्याचबरोबर त्यांनी भारतीय संस्कारात ते वाढलेले असल्यामुळे आणि भारतीय कवितांचा त्यांचा अभ्यास मोठा असल्यामुळे त्यांनी जयदेवाचं गीतगोविंदाचा अभ्यास केला आणि त्यातली गेयता त्यांनी आत्मसात केली. किंवा वंगकवी रवींद्रनाथ टागोर, तरुलता दत्त यांच्यासारख्या कवींच्यासुद्धा काव्याचा त्यांनी नीट अभ्यास केला. किंवा आपल्याकडच्या प्राचीन लावण्या, पदं, गीतं, स्त्रीगीतं आणि हिंदीमधील ब्रजभाषेतील काही गेय अशा रचना यांचासुद्धा त्यांचा निकटचा परिचय होता. म्हणजे अस्सल भारतीय परंपरेचा वारसा त्यांना लाभलेला होता. त्यामुळे त्यांची कविता ही भारतीय संस्कारातून, भारतीय तत्त्वज्ञान, अध्यात्म आणि सांस्कृतिक संकेत यांच्या मुशीतून तयार झालेली कविता होती. ती स्वतंत्र स्वरूपाची आणि अतिशय स्वयंभू अशी कविता होती असं आपल्या लक्षात येतं. स्त्रीशक्तीचा गौरव तर त्यांनी अनेक कवितांमधून केलेला आहे. स्त्री सहज तुझी हालचाल मंत्रे जणू मोहिते यासारख्या कवितामध्ये त्यांची अनुरक्ती ही इंग्रजी रोमॅन्टिक कवितेच्या वळणाची जरी दिसली तरी दुसऱ्या कवितामध्ये ते म्हणतात ही अपूर्व शक्ती सगुण, स्त्री ही एक अपूर्व शक्तीच आहे याचा त्यांनी गौरव केलेला आहे. किंवा भयचकित नमावे तुझ रमणी यासारख्या कवितेतून त्यांनी आपली स्त्रीच्या ठिकाणी त्यांना विश्वात्मक अशा रहस्याचा साक्षात्कार जणू घडलेला आहे. त्यांच्या कवितेमध्ये त्यांनी कौटुंबिक पार्श्वभूमीसुद्धा राखून ठेवलेली आहे, परंतु आधुनिक अशा प्रेमभावनेचा आविष्कार केलेला आहे. हे त्यांच्या डोळे हे जुलमी गडे यासारख्या कवितेतून आपल्याला दिसून येतं. खूप आकर्षक असं शृंगारचित्र त्यांनी त्यातून रेखाटलेलं आहे. त्यांच्या आयुष्याच्या उत्तर काळामध्ये त्यांनी ज्या कविता लिहिल्या त्यामधून त्यांना आपल्या आयुष्याची संध्याकाळ जवळ आलेली आहे आणि आता आपल्याला हे जग सोडून लवकरच जायचं आहे याच्या ही भावना, अशी संध्याकाळ झाल्याची हुरहुर लावणारी भावना त्यांनी व्यक्त केलेली जी मधुघटसारख्या कवितेमधून हे आपल्याला पाहायला मिळते. संसाररूपी नदीच्या पलीकडे गेलेल्यांची हाकही त्यांना ऐकू येते असं ते एका कवितेत म्हणतात. परंतु संसारातील मोहपाशाचे धागेसुद्धा त्यांना इथे अडकवून ठेवत आहेत असंही ते सांगून टाकतात. नववधूसारख्या कवितेमध्ये सुद्धा त्यांनी हे जीवन संपून परमेश्वररूपी प्रियकराकडे जाण्याची कशी ओढ लागलेली आहे ह्या आपल्या भावना त्यांनी व्यक्त केलेल्या आहेत. तांब्यांनी लिहिलेली नाट्यगीतं आणि बालगीतंसुद्धा अतिशय मनस्वी आणि हृदंगम अशी झालेली आहे. त्याच्यामध्ये सुद्धा गेयता आहे. त्यांच्या सर्वच कवितांमध्ये माधुर्य भरलेलं आहे. सुंदर सुंदर प्रतिमा आहेत आणि अर्थाचं त्यामध्ये लालित्य आहे. या सगळ्या दृष्टिकोनातून जर त्यांची कविता आपण पाहिली तर त्या नादमाधुर्यामुळेच कदाचित त्यांच्या ध्वनिमुद्रिका बनल्या, त्या रेडिओवरून प्रसारित झाल्या, लोकांच्या घराघरात, लोकांच्या ओठी त्या खेळू लागल्या आणि त्या कविता अजूनही आपल्या स्मरणात त्यामुळेच राहिल्यात की काय असं वाटतं. काही झालं तरी इतकी मधुर, नादमधुर आणि गोड भावभावना व्यक्त करणारी अशी त्यांची जी कविता त्यांनी लिहिली ती पाहून त्यांना कविवर्य असं म्हणावं हे रास्तच आहे असं वाटतं.
The poet who experienced a sublime and joyous beauty in the universe and expressed the feelings that blossomed from such experiences through graceful and melodious verse also wrote a significant number of philosophical poems. Look, the Venus rules in the darkening sky. Observe, O depressed mind. That indomitable hope was the foundation of his poetry. O mind, your temple is filled with song. Why do you look surprised? It is not bound by the 7 notes, nor does it stumble through difficult words. The mind is filled with sweetness. There's nothing but sweetness. Thus his mind experiences sweet song everywhere. At times, signs from beyond the known world catches attention. He sometimes feels a constant company of a shadow, and at others, some unknown and unborn friends call out to him. He is well aware of the selfish nature of the world, but he observes it with a detached mind. O setting sun, I offer you the holy water with both hands. Everyone salutes the one who is rising and turns his back to the one setting. That is the way of the world, O sun, thou who are beyond selfishness. Tambe's most mysterious poems are about death. These poems are also based on Indian philosophy, but they don't follow the traditional norms of expression. When describing the knowledge of approaching death, he says, "How sharp is your harp, O death! Moments fly, and the mind is disoriented." But the approaching death does not bother him. Rather, he thinks of it as a friend who guides. I hear your steps, and they reassure me. How long can one roam the woods? How far is the home now? He answers the death's calls by saying that he is now detached from this life and ready for departure. Stop your bugle, O angel. Here I come, stop your bugle. Why such haste in blowing? I know the occasion. He wonders how death would arrive. He is aware that after his death, his family and friends would grieve for a few days, but then everything will return to normal. जन पळभर म्हणतील हाय हाय मी जाता राहील कार्य काय. No work would stop when I am gone. People will grieve for a short while. Why lament the loss of such a world, and why pine for anyone? Two passengers come together in a train and begin a friendly conversation. But at the next station, one of them alights and takes another train. But the other passengers continue their journey without a sense of loss. Similarly, why fear death, he asks in his poem Changing the Trains. His mind had accepted the reality of death with fortitude. He observes the state of his mind when thinking about death and describes it fearlessly through his poems. The river has turned a foe like a deathly serpent. My life's solace is on the shore beyond, and she flows in between. In poems such as these, a strange attraction to the world beyond death is palpable. Take my life as your payment, O boatman, but make haste and take me to the shore beyond, he pleads. His poem, The Pain in My Heart, depicts a similar feeling. I hear the call of those who have crossed the river. Here they pull me back with their bonds of love. Thus Tambe presented an original and new form of poetry in the second and third decade of the 20th century. His poetry carried forward the true Indian tradition of poetics, but had also imbibed the characteristics of English poets. This poetry revealed Tambe's poetic nature that valued love, viewed the entire universe with compassion, enjoyed beauty, and faced difficulties with courage. Instead of depression and dejection, it expressed a contentment and satisfaction about life. Hope you liked this poetry. The link to the collection of Tambe's poetry is provided in the description below this video. Hope you will read it and sing it to yourself. In the next episode, we shall talk about a novel that links to the mythological period. Until we meet again, keep reading.